So Tucker Carlson has had this trailer going around, and I'm like, oh yes, I want to watch this very silly trailer. And then instead, here we are, Chat and I stumble upon a video where Tucker Carlson is interviewing a detransitioner. And we've been talking about detransitioners lately, so I guess we will watch this like 3-minute Tucker Carlson original segment and see what is being said on the national platform about detransition. Okay, it's unfortunate because I'm sure that the fact that this person is on Tucker Carlson's show means that they're going to be advocating against people getting medical care for transition. Let's watch this and see what she has to say. Helena Kirshner.
It's a moving interview, and there's a lot more of it in the episode. Helena joins us on set now. Helena, thanks so much for coming out. There's something so sad about that. First of all, thank you for speaking up, because your voice does matter, I think, in this conversation. You felt what every young woman I've ever met felt at a certain age, which is uncomfortable with yourself. And it feels like you were exploited at that moment of weakness.
Yeah.
Leading the witness. Objection, Your Honor.
Absolutely. I mean, as you said, it's completely normal for not only young girls, but often young boys too, to feel uncomfortable with themselves, uncomfortable with their body. But we have this ideology that is especially prevalent online that says that if you have those feelings, that means you're trans. I mean, there are literally people who say, if you don't even like your voice on a recording, that's a sign of gender dysphoria. And you.
I mean, it like literally can be. People will misstep, I'm sure, and say it certainly is a sign. But I don't think that that's like the common rhetoric. Trans people do want other trans people to be able to identify those signs, and that's a good thing.
Need to go see a medical professional because you're trans.
You could talk to a medical professional and figure out what the problem is. That is what the purpose of the medical professional is to discriminate people who need transition away from like the general population who is just having some teenager issues. You know, like they're like, the purpose of them is to separate, delineate, discriminate between those two groups and determine which of them actually needs medical care.
Talk about taking advantage of people. So how do you, and this is all explained in greater depth in the documentary, but how do you feel now at 23 looking back on what happened?
I feel honestly grateful for the experience because it's taught me a lot about the world and about myself, but I really feel afraid for these other young girls like myself who they might not be. I consider myself lucky that I was able to get out of it unscarred really medically, but there's so many young people who can't say the same.
This is all so vague. Obviously this is just like a stupid little trailer thing. I'm like curious to hear her go into any detail about any of this stuff. These other kids who got forced into it or like who got stuck in it. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm just realizing recently that my experience, like me having come to this type of activism from the skeptic community, has just ruined my ability to engage with with most normal types of people in rhetoric. Like, it's just so obvious to me when people are just like saying some bullshit and not evidencing their claim, like just claiming that there's harm without evidencing it, saying that there is an issue with something without demonstrating what the issue is. Ryan Stevens in the YouTube chat says this person spoke at Q 2021 Culture Summit, which is a Christian summit. Religion is playing a large role in her outspokenness. Ugh. Why is it always religion?
And psychologically as well. I mean, it's just devastating to, especially from a young age, be lied to by adults at school.
You're fine. You're not devastated. You just said you're like grateful for the experience. So you're fine. And you're just saying that it's harmful to other people.
And by medical professionals and told that your body is wrong, you need to change it, you need to get hormones, you need to get surgeries. That's devastating for a young person. So I'm just...
Yeah, being trans fucking sucks sometimes.
Really concerned for younger girls and boys like I once was, yes, being led down this path and being hurt by it.
So again, this is a bad example. She is a bad example of what they are trying to say something against. This is literally just opportunism. This is just this person trying to get paid right now. This person thought that they were trans for a couple years, seems to have not medically transitioned very much, if at all, desisted, and is fine and grateful for the opportunity to have explored this aspect of the human experience. But then at age 23 now is just turning around and being like, everybody else got forced into it and they're being hurt, even though I wasn't hurt. And I also am not appealing to any specific examples of anyone I know who was hurt by it.
It's a failure of male leadership, of adult leadership, and it does seem like some of the
male leadership, he specifically said.
Steps are medically irreversible.
Absolutely. I mean, there's all sorts of, you know, the White House actually just put out a chart yesterday that says that some of these steps are reversible or partially reversible, but that's such an oversimplification of the truth. I mean, when you go on
It's not an oversimplification. That's the literal opposite of an oversimplification, you fucking walnut. Like, literally, it's saying that, like, it's a nuanced issue. So many different aspects of your body are affected by this, and, like, most of them are affected by what your current hormonal makeup is. My brain is short-circuiting. Oh my God.
Cross-sex hormone, like, that's going to give you not just physical changes, but psychological experiences that you can't just act like they never happened. You can't just take it back.
Yes.
And
just like you can't take back all the psychological experiences from being forced to go through the wrong puberty the first time. Why do these fucking people just never care about the actual trans experience, trans subjectivity? Trans people matter. The way that trans kids feel matters. And these people just always portray this as as just a non-factor. It is literally not a factor in how they think about this issue. They just don't care.
especially with surgeries, you know, a breast implant after a mastectomy is not the same thing as never having your breast taken off in the first place. So there's a lot of young women who are going through that, who had a double mastectomy at 16, 17, 18 years old, or even younger. That happens.
Nope, it does not. That is a fucking lie. That is a lie. I've never heard of anyone under the age of 17, as a matter of fact, getting top surgery. I would be surprised if there were 16-year-olds, and definitely any younger than that. I don't believe it.
Who, you know, there's nothing you can really do to put that feeling of oneness and safety in your body back.
Yep, that's exactly what it's like for every single trans kid who grows up without intervention through their puberty. Thank you for raising attention to this issue, Helena.
It's heartbreaking. I hope people are hearing
Oh my God, the performativity makes me want to vomit.
you with open minds, with tolerance, are they?
There's a lot of people out there, especially parents, who are really thankful for what I'm saying, because they see that their young girl or their young boy is going through this, and the school is telling them, you need to affirm them, they're trans, you need to transition them. All their doctors are telling them, you need to transition them. And these parents, they know that their child should not be having these cosmetic procedures. So there's a lot of parents.
Okay, so the doctors who assess the child are saying the best way forward in treating this condition is by social or medical transition. Like, the parents are saying, no, I have decided that I don't care about how you want. This is, like, to me, literally no different than denying than a Jehovah's Witness parent denying their child a blood transfusion because of their beliefs and letting their kid die. Like, to me, it's always religiously motivated. Equally not caring about the beliefs or health of the child is a decision that can lead to the death of the child. You're, like, denying medically necessary care. It's literally exactly the same.
Parents who are really thankful. There are other young people who are really thankful that I'm saying what I'm saying, but obviously, you know, you have the trans activists and the trans community that exhibits some very unhealthy kind of cult-like dynamics who are really upset about it.
Prove it, bitch. I just watched a whole 3-episode series, like almost 5 hours of my time, about how the gender criticals are obviously a cult, and it was demonstrated very thoroughly to me. Like, how about you substantiate that statement? And also, like, the trans community has fuck all to do with what the medical establishment is going to do. The trans community is overwhelmingly saying fewer barriers. We need fewer barriers to care. We need more, like we need access to therapy through the process because transitioning is difficult. You need access to medical care. The medical establishment is just saying, like, don't care. Like, don't care. It's not stringent enough. We need to make you wait longer. You need to actually take even more time to figure your shit out. Like, okay, great. It's not like the trans community as a group anyway has any influence, because what we want is being completely unilaterally ignored. We are asking for a compromise in asking for puberty blockers to be made more widely available. The compromise is being thrown back into our face. It's always a mistake. Here's a lesson from me to you. if you are negotiating for something, you start with something that they're going to say no to, that you're okay with them saying no to, like to an extent. Like you have to be willing to like walk back to that middle position. That's how negotiation works. So we can't say like, oh, trans kids should have access to puberty blockers so they have extra time to choose. No, you start with the position. Trans kids should be able to go through puberty at the same time as their cis peers. And then say like, you have to capitulate somehow. Like you have to make me happy somewhere in between receiving no care and receiving exactly the same treatment that a cisgender kid would. Otherwise, we're gonna get nowhere with this shit. They are literally taking our compromised position and throwing it in our face.
About this.
Man, you are so articulate and thoughtful at 23.
For a young woman, you can tell that he's thinking like, you're so thoughtful and articulate for a young woman. It's so misogynistic.
It's remarkable.
Thank you.
People who have suffered like you have sometimes get deeper.
Yeah, you learn a lot. Like I said, I learned a lot.
You do. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So that was that. I feel like I reacted to it throughout, so I don't have like a lot of additional commentary on it. I really just don't think it's right. It's these detransition narratives are the ones that are so common. But I did want to watch the funnier thing. This person shared it and said, "I promise you are not prepared for Tucker's latest montage." So I do want to see what this says. In the current year, the cycle continues. What is happening? What is happening? There's a giant Wiimote.
Collapses, then
what?
you're in hard times.
What did it say?
Collapses, then. Once a society collapses, then
Once society collapses, then
you're in hard times. Well,
you're in hard times.
hard iron sharpens iron, as
Hard iron sharpens iron.
they say, and those hard times inevitably produce men who are tough, men who are resourceful,
Men who are tough, men who are resourceful,
men who are strong enough to survive.
strong enough to survive.
And then they go on to re-establish.
Was that dude just like slamming a beer? Was that a beer? He just fucking slamming that shit.
And then they go on to re-establish order, and
They go on to re-establish order.
so the cycle begins again.
So the cycle begins again. The end of men. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's so weird. I gotta watch it again. Hold on. We got push-ups at like 9 a.m. with the morning light, you know? We're shooting guns at... What is this, canola oil? Why would you shoot at bottles of canola oil? I don't understand. And then he's reaching his hand toward a titty. Reaching his hand toward a cow titty. Do we have any cow furries in the audience who are, titillated by this? We're doing kink in public. We gotta get off of this screenshot before RGR comes. And and then there's a steak. There's a cooking steak. Hold on, come back. Yep, there was a steak cooking inside a grill, I guess. And then some wrestling happening, some very heterosexual wrestling. As we all know, we all know that wrestling is extremely heterosexual and always has been. And then this guy with the weird, what is this? This is like just a giant Wiimote with a flashlight pointing straight at his dick and balls. Just like, this is real, I think. I don't think this is fake. I think this is real. What is happening? And we're flipping over tires to get stronger.
Once a society collapses, then you're in
And his
hard
face is all
times.
blurred
Well,
out. Why is his face all blurred out?
hard
This guy's
iron
face isn't all
sharpens
blurred
iron,
out.
as
He's
they say,
chopping
and
wood.
Those hard times
And this guy's just taking a bath in a steel tub in the middle of the woods. That's fucking weird.
inevitably produce men.
Is he
who are
gonna kill
tough,
himself?
men
Is he
who
just
are
trying to do
resourceful,
seppuku
men
right now?
who
Like,
are
here's
strong
this
enough
dude
to
with the beer
survive.
again.
And then they go on to re-establish order, and so the cycle begins again.
And this dude is just in front of a panel of lights. He's not naked, though. You can't see his ass crack. Or it's just been blurred. If he's naked, then his ass crack has been blurred. Okay. Well, so that's what I originally wanted to look at, and that's fucking weird. Lord have mercy on all of our souls. With Tucker Carlson originals. Those were raw eggs? Oh no. Oh, it was raw eggs, not beer. Oh my God. Oh Lord, have mercy. It was a little homoerotic, that's true. So many poor repressed gay conservative men are having a lovely time. So, you know, Tucker Carlson is out there just having a totally normal one. Having a completely normal one. Thank you all for watching, and I want to especially thank my patrons. Your support is enabling me to pursue this as my actual job, so thank you so much for your contributions. I want to especially thank Mersh Rolvag, Tiago Nascimento, Jovian F. Gaudreau, Bean, Heather Clarkson, Amanda B., Sarah A., R. Halverson, Michelle Winter, Athiette, Wellington Marcus, Nova, Frozen Summers, Suzanne Maynard, Elizabeth Bartell, and Mr. Atheist.